I really like that. I love that lo-fi sound. It's amazing. I'm not going to be before you guys very long. Um, but Deb put out a video earlier today talking about the Diddy trial and some things that we weren't aware of before. And this is going to be a tough one to discuss, but I think it is important for perspective's sake. We have to be able to see things from different lenses and different perspective in order to really grasp our own genuine feelings about something. So I want to talk about this, and hopefully Deb doesn't strike my channel, but I'll message her and ask her if it's okay. If she doesn't want me to keep it up, then I'll delete it. But for the sake live, we're going to go ahead and discuss it. But first and foremost, giving the honor to the Most High for blessing us, waking us up this morning, and giving us another chance to be better today than we were yesterday. I really love that. So this is Deb. Bring her. This is Deborah. Married 10 Years is the name of her channel. She is awesome, amazing. She is not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but the way she breaks things down about people and the way that they possibly think, her perspectives, and the way that she can just channel in to people's psyche is amazing. But she talks about this part of the Diddy trial, and it got me to thinking, and I said, whoa, let me just review this real quick. I'm not going to be on here long because, as we all know, Messy Michonne goes on at 5, and I want to be there for her live stream. She's also going to be talking about Diddy, but as just a little preamble here, we're going to talk and review Deb's video that she did today. Full screen. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
All know what I heard, and let me tell you something. You know what?
Let's start from the beginning.
Everyone, come on in because we are back, y'all. We are back to talk about the P. Diddy trial, catch up on the P. Diddy trial. Have y'all been keeping up, or have you at least been keeping up with my recaps? I'm not doing them every day. I can't do them every day. But every once in a while, I can come back in here and let y'all know what I heard. And let me tell you something. You know what my new word is? We've been tricked, y'all. We've been lied to. We've been tricked and we've been lied to. Add
right away.
Stomach discomfort due to diarrhea? Imodium multi-symptom relief starts to work fast.
You know, I ain't no P. Diddy fan because this is a lot of wrong stuff P. Diddy is doing. He's definitely crazy. But what we've been hearing in the street earlier, it's not even coming out in the trial. Like, didn't everybody hear about 1,000 baby oil? They raided his home with 1,000.
Let me know if you can hear me.
Come to find out, y'all, it's only 25 bottles. Now, I'm not saying 25 bottles ain't suspicious, but it ain't 1,000, y'all. We've been lied to. You know, first of all, I was a little bit caught off guard with the whole Cassie testimony. That's what I've been talking about the last 2 videos. And, you know, we heard a whole lot of testimony about him beating her. We heard a whole lot of testimony about her sticking through the beating. We started hearing more about, you know, who all the people she dated. She dated Michael B. Jordan. She dated Kid Cudi. And, you know, every time she dated a different guy, you know, Diddy was jealous of her. And he would do little things like take her car away, take her keys away, take her phone away, punish her. Then we heard things like she was just as jealous as she was with Diddy. So when Diddy was dating different people, like some woman named Gina or something, you know, Cassie's best friend testified that Cassie was real jealous of Gina. We know Cassie admitted on the stand she was jealous of Kim Porter. So just a lot of stuff going on, y'all, where it's just it ain't coming out like they told us it was. Where are the thousand bottles of baby oil? The other thing I want to know is where are the men that Diddy was supposedly are and slept with? Because we didn't heard a lot of testimony from strippers, whatever, and none of them say that they had sex with Diddy. All of them.
Listen, she's not lying. So far, it's not given what we thought it was going to give. I'm going to be honest. I'm a little underwhelmed. I'm like, where the dudes at? Where TD Jakes at? How come we ain't brought in Tyler Perry and all them dudes? Like, so far. Now, listen, this is only the end of the first week, right? We're into the second week already. Is this the second week or the first week still? So far, I'm a little underwhelmed. The Cassie stuff, none of that is surprising. But right off bat, they was exaggerating baby oil. They said boxes and boxes, crates and crates, cases and cases. Now it's only 25 bottles, which, like she said, 25 is still kind of. But at the end of the day, it doesn't compare. So are we as nigglets? We like to exaggerate. Was all this just exaggeration? And now we get into the nitty gritty, and I'm a little disappointed. I want the juice. I want celebrity names. Mike says boxers throw jabs before the knockout blow. Facts.
Tell the same old story that they were paid to come in to have sex with Cassie, and Diddy watched and he masturbated while he watched. It's the same old story. So I'm starting to wonder, are even those stories true? I'm not saying that stuff didn't go on at his P. Diddy party and his white parties, but it sounds like P. Diddy was the type of person where he sets up these rendezvous and he liked watching. So maybe what he did was he set up these rooms in his house, his white party, and what he did was he allowed other people to partake in it because that's the thing that they liked. And maybe what he did was he watched. Maybe that's what we're talking about now. I don't know. But what we're hearing now is different from what I heard in the streets. We heard from another young lady since the last time I talked to you. Her name was Carrie Morgan. She was supposedly the best friend of Cassie, but she said she wasn't best friends with her after about 2000. And she said last time they spoke was 2018. They were friends for over 15, 17 years because they had met in the modeling industry before Cassie even met Diddy. And then that's how she met Diddy, through Cassie. And she said that she saw Diddy beating on Cassie, pulling her by the hair, dragging her, kicking her, doing everything else everyone else said. It's been said a million times, so there ain't no doubt about it that he did it. And then Carrie said, but I drew the line when he put hands on me. Carrie said Diddy put hands on her one time, and after that, she was out. She says, I'm not doing no more. And she ended up getting a $30,000 settlement from that. Wow. And here's the thing. Let me tell you another lie I'm coming to. Everybody's saying that Diddy was a tyrant, which is true, but they're saying that everyone was afraid to leave. We're kind of finding out that the only person who didn't leave was Cassie. Everybody else left Diddy. Everybody else. At some point in time, when Diddy acted a fool and did something to them, they left. And not only did they leave, they often left with a check. So once again, here we're finding out that, wait a minute, how can you be the one that couldn't leave when everybody else found a way to leave? And everyone else said, even when they did stay longer than probably they should have, they stayed because of the money.
Boom. What do y'all think about that? I mean, we not stupid, right? We all know money talks and bullshit runs a marathon. What movie is that from? Right? So all these people admitted, I stayed because, and she makes another excellent point. Everybody else was able to pick up their britches and keep it moving. But Cassie, out of all the people, she wasn't able to walk away. Now, I will give Cassie some grace because she was extremely young when she met Diddy. And this is a part of the equation that I think a lot of people look over. Your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until you're at least 25. At least that's what the scientists say, right? So if he met her when she was a teenager, he had a lot of time to manipulate and mold her brain and to get her to do things that somebody who was already 25 and up probably wouldn't do, right? So she gets in a little bit more about why Diddy chose Cassie. So let's keep watching. But hey, Lady Di, how are you? I hope all is well. You and Aisha. Mike says, if he conspired with people to kidnap and set fire to someone's car, can it be a RICO? I don't know. I don't know much about like legalese and all that. I don't know what it takes to be able to qualify for a RICO. But if Diddy did all of the stuff that people say he did, like even like the death of Tupac and Biggie and all, and that he would conspire and all this, where is the evidence? How come? I don't know. I feel like at this point they should have enough, and all of this stuff that we're rehashing with Cassie should be null and void. Let's get to the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, money rules, money talks. Let's see what else Deb say.
They stayed because they were still trying to get something from Diddy. But then once he went too far, they said, okay, the money ain't worth it. There you go. That's what most people say, that the money ain't worth it. But Cassie stayed a lot longer. She felt it was worth it. When everyone told her she should leave, she said she couldn't because he owned the keys to her career and he was paying her rent and he was giving her an allowance. You see, she had a lot more money at stake than these other people, so these other people could leave. The minute Diddy acted a fool with anybody, they left his presence and they left with a check. Let me tell you something else I'm not fully convinced of. They talk about a lot of threats Diddy had. He threatened a lot of people, but the thing is, Diddy really never did make good on too much of his threats. He threatened all these people. Oh, if you tell, I'm going to do this. But in the end, you know what he did? He gave them money and had them sign an NDA.
Take what you do best and create a website.
Y'all, it's really, really weird. This woman named Carrie Morgan said that when she finally left, signed her NDA and got her $30,000, she sent Combs a note telling him, you don't love yourself. Not only do I think Combs doesn't love himself, y'all, I think Combs secretly hates women.
Pause. So what do you guys think about that? Lady Di says she loved everything about that man after years of the same thing. She basically grew up in that life. Yeah, she became conditioned and accustomed to it, And I think her now husband was that one entity that was able to kind of snap her out of it and be like, look, this is not normal. You're better than this. I also saw another YouTuber that said, is it possible that her husband saw the play? He saw the play. He saw, I could take this woman under my wing and we could literally sue, because he probably has been around too. If he was P. Diddy's personal trainer and then he was training Cassie, he done seen some stuff too. And he knew that there are people who've sued and got paid. And he said, oh, she's been in this for a long time. We really could catch in. That could be the play too. That could be the play. I don't know. All of this is speculation because we don't know anything truthfully, right? And we don't know, what up, Reaper? Why people do what they do, but they do. And I know that money got a lot to do with it, right? What about the people that started Uptown Records? All gone except I'll Be Sure. Wow. That is interesting. There's something to it. There is something to it. There's a lot of sinister stuff that goes on in the entertainment industry, a lot more than what we've been privy to see, you know. But you see, her best friend testified. She got her little money and she gone. She don't even consider herself Cassie's best friend anymore. Because you know what? When you are friends with somebody that can do that to themselves and allow themselves to be used and abused, it is really, really difficult to watch. So I understand why her and her friend are no longer, you know, cordial, or they no longer deal with each other, because you can't stick around and watch somebody, you know, degrade themselves like that, you know? So I'm glad the friend stood up for herself and got out, you know? But like I said before, Cassie was still very, very young in the mind. And when you're dealing with somebody who's got a lot of money and a lot of control and make you sign a 10 album deal, knowing damn well you can't sing worth a lick, you kind of feel stuck. And I'm not trying to give Cassie all the grace, but I think because of her age, she deserves some, you know? But at some point, she was doing it for the money, because she continued to stay in it, even once she knew that it still wasn't good for her and it wasn't for the best, you know, and she's out here doing all of these disgusting things with prostitutes. You got to know that ain't right. You got to know. We all know right from wrong at some point. And I even heard her parents are well-to-do. So, I mean, you know, she grew up with, I would think, some sort of morals and standards, but this is all very interesting.
Because when you listen to a lot of this testimony, a lot of his violence is against women. You don't really hear him getting into too many beefs, fights, fist fights, whatever, with men. You hear it's all with women. He didn't like women. I know we heard, at least I heard, that his mother was a victim of domestic abuse. Diddy got some sick stuff going on. You know, I heard, and someone could correct me, that he grew up watching his mother get beat, and he ends up turning into an abuser himself. But part of what you can see with Diddy is he hates these women. It's almost like Diddy hates weak women, women who stick around after a man has beaten them. It's almost as like he resents his mother for sticking around, and he hates his mother for it. He loves her, but he hates her.
Did you guys hear that? I never heard that his mom used to get beat and he used to see her get beat. If so, it would make sense, because once you witness something, you know, the best teacher is really just what you see. So we have to be careful as parents what type of example we set, because your kids, they're watching everything. And Diddy knew better than to put his hands on another man, because, you know, he probably can't fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's another reason probably why he made so much money, because, you know, he don't have them hands, and his money was his power. That's how he controlled people. You know, a lot of people with money control others with that money, you know. Lady Di says, yes, Reaper, thank you. Hit that like button. Lady Di says, money and fame can be intoxicating and exciting too. Absolutely. Money and fame can be intoxicating, I think, to anybody, you know. But to somebody young who was aspiring to be a supermodel, and then you're coming across a man with all this money and he's promising you the world, definitely you can get lost in the sauce real quick. You know, that's why the Bible says that the root of all sorts of evil is for the love of money. If you love money, you'll do anything, period. Mike says his mom ran a modeling escort agency, allegedly. Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't know that. Learning something new here.
You know, Cassie might be a representation of his mama. He loved his mama, but he also hated his mama for staying around. He loved Cassie. Okay, some people could say, I don't really call it love, but that's fine. But he secretly hates her too. He hates her for being weak. He hates her for being around. He told everybody Cassie's moldable. Basically, what he's saying is, I could do whatever I want to Cassie, but he don't respect it. He don't like it. He hate a lot of women. He hates a lot of women. He beat Cassie a lot for any little thing. She could have a bad look. She could chime up at the mouth. She could do anything. And what's interesting about Cassie is, as much as Combs beat on her, she still would talk back to Diddy. If Diddy did something she didn't like, she wasn't meek and mild in the corner. She would just talk back and then take a licking. I tell you, this was toxic, toxic, toxic. You know, they even had his a different professional, his personal assistants come on and take the stand. His name was David James, and he was the assistant from 2007 and 2009. He talked about all the hours he worked from sun up to sundown, sometimes 7 days a week. Well, you know what? Guess what? In that industry they're in, that's what all of them personal assistants do. I've known personal assistants to stars, and that's what they do. They're darn near like medical surgeons, always on call, always working 24-hour shifts, 36-hour shifts. You know what? It's the industry. It's the industry. So am I saying that David James suffered any more of a horrible work environment than any other type of personal assistant out here? No, I'm not. It's all throughout the industry, but he stayed. He stayed along those 2 years working with Diddy because he admired Diddy. He admired that Diddy was a millionaire, billionaire, and he wanted to see what was going on with Diddy. He said he did all kinds of stuff. You know, he was the one that organized Diddy's personal items. He would lay out his business documents for him in the morning. He would turn on the TV to Combs' preferred channel. What is that? The porn channel. He would wake up Diddy, knock on his door. He would, have conversation with security and let him know Diddy was ready. He'd have to be there when Diddy was having dinner. He'd go to Diddy with his studio and sometimes be there at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. He was always on call, but he liked it. He liked it. He said,
could you guys do that kind of job where you're just tied to a celebrity? Like, they have these personal assistants, and, I've watched different shows, fictional shows where a person was tied to their boss, and no matter what they were doing, if your boss called you, you got to stop what you're doing and be there for them. I don't know if there's that enough money in the world to make me do that type of job, especially if I have a family. Ain't no way. Ain't no spouse sticking around for that unless they're there with you for the money and they don't care whether you're home or not. But I don't know. What up, Wolfpack? Thanks for being here. Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. Especially another man. If I'm a dude, forget it. I'm not a dude. So I'm not even gonna but me and another woman, I don't care how famous she is, I don't care how much access she got. I'm not running behind nobody like that all the time. I don't care how much you pay. Maybe because I have my own money. If I was broke, maybe I could say I could do that for sure. I got access to this. I could meet these people. I needed, whatever. But none of that sounds desirable, in my opinion. Let's see what else old boy seen while he was up under Diddy's thumb.
Yeah, the security people always told him, man, just stay in your lane. Just make sure you stay in your lane as a personal assistant, and there won't be no problems.
I know that's right, Mike. No thanks.
Need better internet than 5G?
Deb getting paid. Make sure you guys check out her channel, by the way. It's called Married 10 Years. She reviews a lot of reality TV, specifically like the dating shows. Her take on these people is amazing. She's a really, really good YouTuber. I love her. Very smart.
James said he was around those 2 years and he knew of 4 girlfriends that Diddy had. Girlfriends, no boyfriends, girlfriends. Kim Porter, Sarah, Kara, and Cassie. And he says when he first got with Cassie, he was really whining and dining her, taking her on private jets, private yachts. He said he liked Cassie the most because she was the most moldable. You see, other people had standards. Other people were like, no, Diddy, you're not going to treat me this way. Once they saw enough of what Diddy was putting out, a lot of people left, but not Cassie. She stayed.
Did you guys catch that? He said that Cassie was his favorite because she was the most moldable, right? The most malleable. He could do whatever, say whatever, and she ain't going nowhere. A lot of that is attributed to the fact that he got with her when she was very young. Let's just be honest about that. But yeah, interesting. He noted 4 girlfriends, and that's it. No men around. But you got to think, as much money that Puff put into his pocket, I'm not going against. I'm not. You paid me. You helped put my daughter through private school and college. I'm not getting on stage talking about Diddy. I'm not. If I was him, you know what I'm saying? Because he might still be looking for a job once Diddy get out. Who knows? So if I know something that's going to be defaming, I'm not going to do it. Just like Cassie's friend, I'm glad that she didn't get on stage, and it doesn't sound like she talked about Cassie really, really bad or anything. She was still on her side, and that's a good friend. Like, even if we not friends no more, I don't like your lifestyle, I'm not down with whatever, we not cool no more, I'm still not coming back talking crazy about you. I'm just not going to do that. But everybody's not built like that, Mike says he also said Kim Porter was his soulmate. I remember him saying that. He said that while he was like with Cassie, didn't he? That's what I thought was crazy. And then to still stick around after your man publicly says this other person is my soulmate, but yet I'm the one that's here. Ain't no way. You got to have a level of self-esteem that's in the toilet to stick around for that. But then again, like we said earlier, money talks. And if somebody is paying me hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, taking care of everything, am I going to give that up for the sake of my dignity? Probably not. Because the love of money is the root of all evil. And that's a damn shame. I really hope, her kids are going to see this. She's got daughters, so I don't even know. I couldn't imagine. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
She stayed getting the goodies. He said he even asked Cassie himself, why do you stay? Why don't you get out? And she answered, I can't. He controls my career. He pays my allowance, and he pays my rent. There you go. Do we know control comes with money? It sure does, but everybody else found a way to leave. Everyone else found a way to leave. Like I said, Cassie staying with Diddy was a result of all the drugs she was doing, her dependency and need to have the money and the lifestyle that he had, in addition to the physical trauma and mental trauma he was exerting on her. Because Diddy tried to exert this same mental trauma and physical trauma on other women. But they said, no, I'm out. Give me a check. And Cassie left in the end. She left in the end. She did. And she left with the biggest check of all, $20 million. And I heard she's suing the whole hotel, Intercontinental Hotel, for another 10. This is what I...
Get your money, girl. Get your paper, Cassie. So, was it all an elaborate scheme? Do y'all think Cassie is the mastermind? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? I'm starting to think Cassie, she said, listen, I'm going to take a licking and keep on ticking till I'm able to secure at least enough for whatever. I don't know. All day, Diana, all day. Money. It's all about the money. I'm starting to, I don't know. This is a hard one for me. Because I don't think anybody deserves to get their ass beat the way Cassie did, especially what we saw in that tape, right? Nobody deserves that. I don't care what you did or what you said. Nobody deserves that. But for somebody that went through that and kept subjecting themselves to it, you got to think that there's something not right up there, And one reason why I used to volunteer at the domestic violence women's shelter is because, I'm so proud of the women that say enough is enough. And regardless of whether I got money or not, if I depended solely on you, I know that my life and my dignity for the sake of myself and my children is worth more than staying with you. Those type of people I don't mind helping. But when it comes to women that continue to stay, it's definitely psychological, you guys. You got to know that it's a psychological thing. And there's a lot of things that stay. There's a lot of reasons why. Sometimes it's not just one thing. Sometimes it's not just money. Sometimes it's not just, because of the age. Sometimes it's a myriad of things. And like she stated, Cassie was doped up a lot. And a lot of times, in order to not face reality, people use substances. And that's just a fact. I was an alcoholic and a weed head for a very long time because I did not want to face reality. And so there was a lot of factors that were in play, but at some point, you got to wake up and do what's right. Mike Nice says she got 10 million from the hotel on top of the 30. That's what I thought. I thought it was more than 20 million from Diddy. So 30 million from Diddy and then 10 million from the hotel. And, even if I put myself in that position and I say, okay, if I know in 2024 that I'm going to end up with $40 million, I'm just going to have to endure a whole lot of this. Would I do it? And I still unequivocally could say, hell no, absolutely not. Ain't no way. Unprotected sex with male prostitutes? Somebody knocking me upside down the head every other day? Absolutely not. I'll act a fool when I get a paper cut. Like, ain't no way. It's not right. I mean, I can't. I'm trying to even put myself in that position to see if it's something that I could endure, and there's no way. And Diddy's not even cute like that. So to endure all of that from somebody that looks like that, ain't no way. Ain't no way. 40 million sounds lovely. It really does sound nice. Life-changing money. You could do a lot with 40 million. But just think about all the trauma. All your DNA is changed. All of the epigenetics things that have happened to your body that you've accustomed yourself with. Your DNA is literally changing with every traumatic episode. You know what I'm saying? And all of the different DNA of other people and their germs and their trauma just entering in your body. And then you got these substances on top of that. I mean, just think about that. Is that worth $40 million? I don't think so. Imagine being in the midst of all of that, and then you took too much of a bump, or somebody then gave you some bad stuff and you're dead and you didn't have a chance to repent, do better, atone for your sins, none of that. And you're just gone. You're taking that risk every single time you lay down and you do something disgusting and vile to yourself. Ain't no way. It's not worth it. Not at all. Diana says, I needed to drink through my 14-year marriage to get by. See? We cope in many different ways. Diana was an alcoholic throughout her 14-year marriage just to be able to deal with this ninja. Because that's what we do as humans, right? We're going to do things to cope, to cope, rather than facing things head on and just dealing with it or just leaving. We going to do what we think is best for the children, for the family's sake, for the appearance of having a perp. We're going to do things to ourselves that's actually making it worse. And that's what she did. After a while, the beatings were tolerable, so I stayed. There you go. Here goes the woman right here in the chat that actually went through this and stayed. Many different reasons why. Everybody's got their reason why. We're not here to judge, right? But it happens all the time. And I commend you, Lady Diana, for getting the fuck out. You realize how important you were. You are God's child, and you did what was in your best interest. Praise God. I'm glad you're here, because it could have ended any other way, and I wouldn't know you. Lady Diana got $0 out of it, but guess what you did get? You got your dignity back. you got your life back. That's priceless. That's more than any money. Any money. Hands down. That's what counts. Period.
I'm hearing. So Cassie endured the most, stayed the longest, and she got the biggest check of all. They asked James, the personal assistant, did you ever hear about Cassie and Diddy arguing? He said, yeah, most of the time it was really about her career because Cassie really wanted to do modeling and Diddy wanted her to focus on her music career. I guess sing or rap. I don't know.
How many of y'all, she got that one song, Me and You? That was cool, but let's keep it real. And she was pretty to look at. She was something to look at. Other than that, talentless. She should have stuck to modeling, but he wouldn't let her. And he probably was paying her more to be his rag doll than what she would have ever gotten being a model. Maybe. That's probably how she saw it. And he probably convinced her that as well. Who knows? Either way, she believed it. And now this is the thing. I don't want to make it seem as if Cassie is off the hook. At some point, we have to take responsibility for the choices that we make in our lives, all the way from who we pick as a partner. Okay? Period. We have to be accountable for the choices we make.
Friend Carrie Morgan said that when Cassie first started, before she really got wrapped up in Diddy, she had a modeling career at 15 years old. And she said at 15 years old, she got a big fat check for $250,000 for a modeling gig. So Cassie was well on her way. So that's what I'm saying. If Cassie was making $250 for one modeling gig when she was 15, then she was well on her way to being I don't know, a supermodel.
She
you
could
making
have
that much money back then? This is what Carrie's saying. I'm even wondering, then why would you get with Diddy? Diddy wasn't into modeling. Diddy was, maybe because he had a clothing line. Is that what it was all about?
He had money.
Oh, this is very, very suspect. Very, very, very suspect. Like I said, we've been lied to. We've been lied to. I want to hear of Diddy with men because that was a big part of it. And now that you tell me there was only 25 bottles of baby oil.
Exactly. I want to hear about TD Jakes and them. I want to hear about Tyler Perry and them. I want to hear about whoever else and them that they was acting like all of this big scandal was going to come. But where are them people at? That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the good stuff. Right now, I'm bored. I'm quite bored. What up, shots? Peace to the chat. 25 bottles is a lot of baby oil, but it ain't nothing compared to the crates and crates and crates that they claim they found, right? I ain't hear nothing about the pink cocaine yet. Where's that? I want scandal. Right now, I'm just,
We heard from the other lady, Donna Richards, Danny Kane. She too specifies she saw Diddy hit Cassie with a skillet. Everybody saw it. Everyone saw it. Not everyone, but a lot of people.
Can you imagine getting hit in the head with a frying pan and staying after that? Tell you something right now. If you hit me with the skillet, I don't even want to imagine it. I don't even want to imagine. But there will be hell to pay. Hell to pay. I might be nice for the moment while I ice my head for a little bit. But the next time I catch you in a compromising position,
saw it. And what's interesting is a lot of the men say they didn't see it. When you listen to who saw Diddy strike Cassie and hit Cassie, You don't hear any men saying they saw it. The personal assistant said he never saw it. Later on, we see the exotic dancer. The only people who saw Diddy hit Cassie are women. And I think Diddy wanted the women to see it.
So there's only two reasons why that is the case. Either all of these men are lying to cover up for Diddy, to help him out, or it's true. And one thing you will notice about men that beat women is they're brave enough to hit a woman, but they're not brave enough to stand up to another man. I have people in my family that have beat women, and I told somebody very close to me, I said, when that security guard came, because what this person did was they went to a school and they demanded for their kid to come out, and all of the ladies in the front office, it was all women in the front office, they going off on the women, jumped on top of the dang on counter and everything like that. But when that security guard came, he complied. And the same person put his hands on his child's mother. And I said, you a coward. You're going to go in there and act a fool, raise your voice, and treat women a certain way. But when it comes to you against another man, you're a fucking coward. And a lot of men that put their hands on women are like that. Period.
Because I think Diddy hates women. And I think Diddy has a special thing about women. Because in a lot of ways, Diddy made the men treat the ladies better. There was one scene where that personal assistant got into it with Diddy's personal chef. Now, supposedly, Diddy had even striked his own personal chef. She was a woman. Once again,
Whoa.
He hit her. But then there was one time when the personal assistant shoved the lady or did something, and Diddy said he called that personal assistant into the office and said, you better never do that again. And he made that personal assistant write her an apology note and take flowers to her. So Diddy was like, I can beat on the women, but you can't. Diddy told the men, you can't hit the ladies, but I can hit the ladies. They also talk about how Diddy didn't trust a lot of people. Things would go missing from his house, people being in his house, watches, jewelry would go missing, money would go missing. He was making people take lie detector tests. I don't know if that's legal. Can you force a person to take a lie detector test? I don't think so. Now, unless you're the law, I don't even think the law can do it. But a lot of this stuff, we found that Diddy wasn't even buying or purchasing. I wonder if Diddy can run around and say, well, I didn't buy it, because even a lot of the baby oil and little things that the personal assistant was buying, James said that Diddy never reimbursed him from the company account because he didn't want it on the company charge account. So the security people will give him money back. So if you look at all the records, maybe he went and bought it for Diddy, but these folks was buying this stuff with their own money, their own credit cards.
Diddy didn't want no paper trail. That's all. He was smart with it, but as we can see, it still came back to him. They was able to trace it back to him. You know? Can you imagine cooking for Diddy and him smacking the shit out of you? Flour going everywhere, and you in here trying to make him what possible reason could he have hit his own chef unless she tried to poison? Maybe he's allergic to shellfish and she accidentally made some shrimp. I don't know, but what on earth could make you strike your own employee? That's crazy to me. That is just really, it's weird. It's weird. Lady Di says, yep, I will go off. I am taking no more. I know that's right. Once you done been through that, you see the world differently. You done healed. Yeah, you're not allowing that no more. Absolutely. Willpack says, I never heard Mo cuss before. That's because you don't know me like that, playa. Mike says he allegedly cursed out his mom, according to one of his former bodyguards, Gene Deal. Yeah, Gene Deal online running. He been running his mouth for a while. Gene Deal telling all the business. I don't know how much of that I believe, but I believe he saw a lot. I believe a lot of stuff that he said. Yeah, people. I mean, if you don't have no respect for women, just based on what we see in some of the things that we've heard, he obviously does not have respect for women, right? You don't have respect for women, you gonna talk to your mama any kind, especially if he uses money as a weapon or a tool of for control. He's paying his mom's bills and all that. Yeah, he's gonna feel a right to cuss his mom out, which I don't approve of at all. You know, I don't believe in people talking crazy to their parents. I don't give a damn what she did. Well, it depends on what she did, because some mamas are off the chain, as we know, right? But it's a shame.
He said he would pack up the same thing from Diddy every time, a sweatsuit, underwear. He would have a little bag that had this little drug bag that would have different types of pills in it, like Advil and Tylenol and Viagra.
Shady. Well, you know, when you get up in old age, you know, y'all be needing that blue pill. It bees like that.
Firm count up, water pills. It was all in like a Louis Vuitton little pouch.
Water
and he would also
pills.
have some money in it, I guess, so he could pay the people as he would have, as they would do their little freak offs or whatever else. So he was pretty predictable. That's the thing. Everybody describes P. Diddy as very predictable. Very, very predictable. Later on,
most men are, right? Aren't you guys pretty predictable? You guys have your routine, you do the same thing, you know.
On when you start talking about the people coming in having sex with Cassie, even they say all the scenes were predictable. Diddy was this wannabe director. He would tell everybody to lather up with baby oil. He would start directing all the scenes, telling everyone what to do. And Cassie was an actor in the movies. And even the male actors in the movie would be like, Cassie would be sighing or whatever, but she wasn't moaning like she didn't want to do it. She was just more like irritated by Diddy's specificity. You know, he was specific about what he wanted them to do. He wanted to be the same way all the time. Even the guys who were coming, one guy named the Punisher said he would come. He'd been there 12 or 14 times. He said it was always the same thing. They wanted the same thing all the time. It was like a fantasy. It was role play. It was to act as if Diddy and Cassie were together and Diddy was cheating on Cassie. You see what I'm saying? It was almost like Diddy was creating a movie in which the woman was the bad person. She was the cheater. She was cheating on her husband, who's Diddy, with this new guy. And this guy was going to be punish her in her bed with his ding-a-ling. Diddy liked to see women punished. He did. I'm telling you, he didn't like women.
So that was his torture. I'm gonna make you do the same scene over and over and over and over. Missionary only. And Cassie's like, oh, again? Can I get a back shot this time? Come on now. Too much. Gene been around. Facto. I don't rock with Gene because he stayed for the money and let this. Thank you. Whole time he watching. But like we said earlier, right? Money talks, bullshit runs the marathon. We put all the morals and the ethics, all that goes to the side when it comes to the almighty dollar. Period. Look at Donovan. Imagine smacking your airmen, troops, because they did not finish your meal. I wish I could have. When we worked with the Army, when I worked at Fort Meade, we shared an office space with the Army. And I remember one time this E5 took his E3 into a room and all we heard was just, I was like, dang, I joined the wrong branch.
He did not like women, or should I say does not like them. The assistant said one time he was bringing some stuff over to Diddy, knocked on the door, came in, and guess he ran into one of these little freak-offs, but all he saw was Cassie in the bed. And then next thing you know, he saw some man with a large endowment. Boy, what are you talking about? How would you know?
How would you
know? He started
know?
giving testimony that he saw Cassie on her back, but normally she lays on her side. How would you know what she normally lays on? This guy was weird. A lot of his testimony that I was reading was a little bit weird to me, but they all say the same thing. that Diddy would sit and watch and masturbate. The baby oil was for the actors, and then what Diddy would use would be the Astro Glide or whatever it was, the lubricant, I guess, and that's the stuff he would use on himself.
Not the Astro
He said one
Glide.
time he partaked in the drugs with Diddy. He
What y'all know about the Astro Glide, y'all?
took a little ecstasy at a party. He was jumping around, acting crazy. And of course, Diddy would film everything all the time. And then Diddy would watch the film back. So it's almost like Diddy would have parties, even if they were regular parties, whatever. He would film all the parties and then he would watch it after everyone left. That was his entertainment. And he said he saw his assistant high on ecstasy bouncing around. And so Diddy said, oh, good, I'm going to keep this video because I might have to show it to someone later on. Is that the blackmail, y'all trying to believe us? Is that the blackmail? Because Diddy told the personal assistant, I'm going to keep this and I'm going to show it. I might have to keep this and show it later on. Is that the blackmail? That's not blackmail. How many times have you done that to one of your own friends? Oh, I got that on camera, girl. I'm going to keep that. That's just a, you know what? Did he ever ask that man for money? No. They even asked the man, did he ever show it to anyone? No. And he said, well, why do you think he said that? Oh, because maybe he wanted to embarrass me. You know, this is a stretch, y'all. This is a stretch. Is this the blackmail of the charges? This right here?
And there you have it. If you guys want to watch the whole thing, go to Married 10 Years. Her name is Deborah. Very smart, insightful woman. And at the end of the day, it's not giving what it's supposed to give, y'all. I'm not seeing anything. I mean, buying drugs is illegal, yes. But having sex parties, those come a dime a dozen, right? I don't know. Was he a hellion with money? Yeah. Somebody created that monster. And this is what we have. But so far, I don't see RICO. I don't see trafficking. I don't see. I'm not saying he. And listen, at the end of the day, this just might be his consequence for some of the shit that he done got away with that we will never know about. This might just be his karma for that. I don't know. And he done lost a lot of money. You know? I don't know. Shot says, and then turned around and still capitalizing because he isn't interviewing for so he making money off of it. Yeah. He gonna get his comeuppance too. He didn't do nothing about it while he was working for him. Now he capitalizing on all this other person's trauma. He'll get his. Trust me. Donovan says, those were the good old days. Good old days where you could reprimand and it'd be all good. Nowadays, you can't even be honest with somebody without you having to apologize to the Lord. Like, that's why I got out. On the flight line, just go behind the blast fence. If your airman was feeling froggy, handle it like it. That's right. We're going to take this rank off and get to, yeah. Look at Couch. What up, Couch? Where is the RICO, though? So far, I'm only seeing sexual deviancy. Exactly. That's all we're seeing is this just to set the scene for what's coming later? That's what I want to know. Maybe this is all just setting the scene for, they want everybody to get in their mind, okay, he beats his women, he beats the cook, he beats people, he likes to snort coke, he takes Viagra, he likes to watch his woman get pounded in the same position every time. Torture. He tortured her. Is this just setting a scene for what's to come later? But like I said, I'm waiting on the pastors and the other people. I ain't heard nothing yet. Nothing salacious enough. So until then, I'm gonna just keep relying on YouTube people to review the good stuff and and go from there. But other than that, I'm not really tracking it, there it is Thursday. It's a slow buildup. We're going to see because the trial is supposed to last, 6 or 7 weeks? So we only into week 1. So we're going to see what happens. But anyways, I'm going to get out of here, you guys. Messy Michonne is up next. Make sure you guys check out her channel, Messy Michon, Michon. She's up now. She's going to be talking more about the Diddy, and she's also going to be talking about Joy Taylor or something like that, which should be pretty fun and entertaining. So yeah, you want to say hi, Sonny? Dog. Oh no, I can't do it. I'm on my laptop, so I've been and turned everything out over here, trying to get her in the clip. Shot says, isn't the legal definition of a conspiracy two or more conspiring to do a thing? Yeah. So we gonna see, but so far we ain't heard no traffic. I ain't seen nothing about no trafficking or just some nastiness going on. Some stuff some of y'all done fantasized about. He was able to make come true because he got the money. All right, Lady Di, text me, gal. All right, you guys, I'll see you later. Take care. God bless. Love you. Be good.